So we're going to kick it off. We're going to meet our panelists. Panelists, you only have 15 seconds to introduce yourself, okay? We're going to do this in rounds. The first round is going to be a pitch round, and it is the only time that you have for a commercial. So it's not about your company right now. It's about you. Where'd you come from? What did you do? Have you seen Thunderdome? Yes or no? And then we'll move on from there, okay? We'll start on this side. You have 15 seconds.
All right, everybody. I'm Jim McGarry. I represent Mitel here today. I live in Austin, Texas, and I have not seen Thunderdome.
He said the word Thunderdome.
My name is Jeff Yakubik, Ring Central from Los Angeles, California, and I was around when Thunderdome came out the first time.
Ooh, you're old. Just kidding.
Whoa. Ow. I'm Steve Forkham. I am with Avaya. I'm from Massachusetts. I don't pack the Ka because I grew up on the other side of the state where we learned to pronounce our R's. So I'm excited to be here, and I have not seen Thunderdome.
Turn up the volume. Thunderdome.
Hey.
Come on. Thunderdome. All right.
All right, rounding out the group here, I'm Ken Lineman with Cordile. We happen to be located here in Philadelphia, so this is a hometown event for us, which is great. And I was around at Thunderdome, but I don't think I ever saw it. But I think we should all applaud for Thunderdome, right? Yeah.
All right. So that was our panelists. We also have a group of experts who have a lot of experience either themselves or with their customers or with their partners in this particular product, UCaaS. They are here to call BS on these guys. They may have the questions that you don't want to ask, and they're going to ask them. Trust me on that. So let's meet our inquisitors. Let's start here.
Chris Donlin. I'm a solution architect with Microcorp. I live in South Florida. I went to college here, right here near Villanova, so I haven't been back in 30 years. And I have seen Thunderdome.
Nice.
I'm Shaquille Fontenot, Director of Marketing and Partner Programs at CNSG, working with strategic partner groups in various regions across the United States. And I'm from Charleston, South Carolina.
Ooh.
Have not seen Thunderdome.
I'm Ray Hicken. I'm the Vice President of Sales Operations for Contact Center and UC for Talaris. That's a long title. Based out of Salt Lake City, and I have seen Thunderdome.
Awesome. All right, welcome, guys. Are you up for this task?
Let's do it.
All right, cool.
Do it.
So here's how this is going to work. Let me get my notes to make sure I got all this right. We're going to do this in 5 rounds, okay? Each is a timed round. The first round is going to be a pitch round where all of you will have a short amount of time to pitch your company. We'll start at 30 seconds. The round after that is the Inquisitor round, where these individuals can ask anything to these individuals, and they can ask follow-up questions, or they can call BS on them if they don't believe the answer. After that, round 3 is a head-to-head round where 2 of you will be chosen at random to debate a question or a topic. And then after that is an audience round where people from the audience, if we gather a lot more, Thunderdome. There you go. If we gather a lot more, you guys can ask the questions. And then we will round things out with a lightning round where you will be asked a question and you must answer in 1 word. No cheating. All right? So let's start. Let's actually pass the mic down to that end, and we'll start on that end. You have 30 seconds to pitch your company. Make it convincing. Ready? Go.
So Cordile is a provider of UCaaS solutions that enable the channel to be successful. We primarily target the SME, which we define as 25 to 500 seats. We're 100% channel distribution, so our partners are trusted advisors to the customer, and we private label. So you probably haven't heard very much about us. And that said, we're north of 320,000 seats in the U.S. We have over 800 channel partners that are out actively selling our solution, and more than 26,000 businesses that are on our platform as of today. The solution is fairly robust, and that includes UC,
5
mobile,
seconds.
contact center, and account management capabilities, and those are all native and organic IP for us.
All right, cool. Thank you. That was good. That was like right around 30 seconds. Congratulations. All right, next up, 30 seconds. Your time starts now.
All right, let me go really fast. So everybody knows Avaya, but what we really are focusing in on is the fact that we connect people when they need help with the people and resources that can give them that help. And almost every day, almost every human on this planet is touching an Avaya solution, whether they know it or they don't, because 90% of the Fortune 1000 use our solutions. So that creates a great opportunity. That fact, coupled with the fact that over 90% of our business goes through the channel, is a ripe opportunity for you as agents, Because
seconds.
let's face it, the contact center is broken, and it's a great opportunity to get in and start selling and upgrading and creating better experiences.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. Just to make sure you're still alive out there, Thunderdome. Thunderdome! No? Okay. All right. Next up. 30 seconds. Ready?
So Ring
Go.
Central, probably the only pure, over-the-top hosted UCAS play up here today. I do appreciate your partners, though. You guys can be great for us. The reality is that we are the Gartner 3-year running winner. We are the purest play from a channel standpoint, our channel program through Channel Harmony, which allows us to basically assign a subject matter expert for every deal from 1 to infinity. Incredible program. We're Channel 4's facing forward company. And I think that's probably where I want to stop right now. I'll let it hang on UCAS.
All right. You're shy of 3 seconds. Maybe you'll get that back later. We'll see. All right. And lastly, 30 seconds. Ready to go.
All right, Mitel is a leader in the UCaaS space with the first to 1 million handsets worldwide. We also provide a pure channel focus, because if you're forward-facing, sometimes you can be rearward-facing too, right? But I'm full channel, all channel cooperation, and for the last, 45 years, built an enterprise-level platform that our customers love and they know.
Awesome. All right. Hey, by the way, did we get those pyrotechnics working? No? Wasn't in the budget? Okay, cool. All right, you guys like the pitches, yes or no?
Oh,
You need to hear any more? Okay, cool. Thanks for your participation. All right, let's go to the Inquisitors. We're going to go to round 2. Our Inquisitors have questions for you. Are you ready for them? They will decide who to ask it to, and they will decide how long you get to answer. Okay? I will just step back and keep time for you. The floor is yours. You want to start on this end?
Sure.
Awesome.
Ring Central. With so many competitors and so many providers in such a competitive market space, how should providers be differentiating themselves from each other?
So absolutely. It's probably a two-part question between customers and partners at the end of the day. So for customers, it's really the customer experience. We spent nearly $250 million the last 4 years in R&D, pouring that directly into a very mobile, face-forward product for the customer. So if the customer experience isn't there, that's really the kernel of where everything lives. So if you can't bubble up and create good tech, you're never even going to get to the next part of this, which is the partner program. So the partners need to be able to feel comfortable and in a program where they can coexist with their supplier and be compensated for what they're doing, feel like they're part of the sales process, and are trained, enabled, and supported to do what they need to do to go to market.
good question. This question is for Ken and Mitel. So essentially, there are a lot of partners that are transitioning from the transactional hosted sales to moving towards this fully robust, collaborative UCaaS solution. So what is your team doing to help them with that transition and really identify how to enable their customers successfully?
So that's a huge part of the Mitel story, right? Because we have 75 million handsets across the world. We sell one every 3 seconds. So a lot of those are on-site customers who are transitioning from that on-site world and want to take that next transition of their business into the cloud. So what Mitel has done is any customer, whether it was legacy Toshiba, legacy ShoreTel, legacy Mitel, we have a transition program for all of them to aggressively target their path to the cloud, improve their UCaaS and their CCaaS performance with the Mitel solution without really costing them a whole lot of money to do so.
So my question really is for all of you. In this day and age where every time I turn around there's a new spiff, everybody's spiffing it. How long is that going to be able to be sustainable for you guys? I mean, where do we go with this? And we keep seeing so many spiffs coming. Every time I turn around, there's a new spiff. Can you sustain it? Is it sustainable long term?
So I'll start and then give you guys all the shot to do it. So with Mitel, this is what's exciting about being backed by a company that for the last 45 years has been successful and profitable in that enterprise space. We have no intention of ever getting away from any spiffs for any of our partners. And the constant rise of UCaaS, I think for you as partners out there, the more in front of your customers that you are today, the more we're going to continue to see those UCaaS deals continue to climb, and the spiffs will be there. I say that and say this at the same time. We all know that building out your MRR model is vitally important, right? We want to put more money in your pockets. So we're always willing to work and talk with partners about Maybe it's a lowering of a spiff and increasing a monthly percentage as you continue to build your base and continue to move on forward. So there's a lot of options that you have and discussions that you can have when we're working together.
So we provide a 3X spiff today, and I honestly don't see spiffs going anywhere, and that's more of a transformation standpoint. You're working with a very robust partner community that has legacy requirements and legacy issues, and a lot of them are trying to move themselves from a GP upfront model to a monthly recurring model. Well, that's a cash flow problem, to be honest with you. How do you pay your sales reps when you were at one point getting all that money upfront on GP? Well, you need some of that in a combination of a spiff and a monthly recurring residual model to make it work. I don't see them going anywhere, to be honest with you, and I think that's an integral part of, as we transform and moving these classic VARs into the cloud, it's absolutely imperative that it's there.
So I guess I'll start by echoing, and I don't see these going anywhere. And I think one of the biggest values at Avaya, having undergone years of operating under the thumb of private equity and going through the restructuring and emerging from that, is we have a ton of flexibility that we are choosing to invest in our agents. So while these guys are offering 2x, 3x spiffs, we're offering up to a 6x spiff. We're taking advantage of the flexibility that we now have to invest in agents, to invest in the market, and to invest overall in the products, which we never slow down. So I think this is just the beginning of a bull market as it pertains to UCaaS. We're ready to just start accelerating fast and to put our money into the agent community.
All right, so I'm going to sound like the dope here because we don't pay spiffs and we don't pay commissions because our model's different. Our private label model is actually you sign up as a partner with us, you sign up to revenue commitments with us, and as part of the business equation, you private label us, and you drive, on average, 60 to 70% gross margin out of the business, which is fundamentally different. Neither one's right or wrong. It's just different. And so, back in 2009, when kind of the economy took a bit of a tank, we found a bunch of the folks who were out there selling hardware saying, wow, I really got to get into a recurring model because I need some sustainable revenue here. I need sustainable profits here. And they signed up under these kind of models, and they kind of made that turn similar to in early 2000s, if you were part of the software pivot from capitalized software purchases to subscription-based software, there was a major change. So I think spiffs are going to be around forever. We happen to not participate in that business model. Our model's a little different. And so we find that both are valuable. There's folks out there who want to build their own brand, create their own value, own their own customer experience by representing other people's products in a private label manner. And then there's folks who want to be agents on behalf of other people's products and get paid a commission and a spiff, and they kind of coexist. But yeah, so I think those are going to be around for a long time. It's not part of our business model.
All right, Chris, let's head back to you for another question.
This is for all of you, and so with such an array of providers in the space, what criteria should a partner or an end user customer use when they decide on a solution?
So this is when they're selecting a UCaaS platform?
Yep.
Yeah. So listen, I come from a consulting background, so I think you got to take these things as more than just a point solution purchase. You're looking at how is this thing going to impact my business, right? So our guidelines are usually around a set of decision criteria that start with setting goals. So what are you really trying to accomplish for the business? Do you want to save money? Do you want to drive efficiency? Do you want to get revenue uplift? Do you want to improve customer experience? Maybe all of the above. And then beyond that, really trying to figure out, can I rationalize the software solutions I have in my house today? A lot of folks that we encounter have Zoom, and they have GoToMeeting, and then they've got GChat, and they got HipChat, and they got all these different things, and it's like, dude, for us, we operate in that 500 seat to 1,000 seat range. That's our sweet spot. It's like, why do you need 10 applications for that? Why are you spending money on 10 applications? Why do you have people logging into 10 applications? Consolidate down to one. So we think that's an important criteria. If you're in a particular vertical, that's important to consider, whether it's APIs or pre-configurations around compliance or security. It's important to partner with somebody who can help you with those kind of outcomes because, one, there's perfunctory compliance issues that are important to meet if you happen to be in medical or you happen to be in finance or FinReg or whatever it might be. And then separately, man, you don't want to sit around for 7-9 months while somebody configures something. If you're an auto dealer, you want somebody to walk in the door and say, hey, I already got this sorted out. I can give you an auto dealer kind of configuration for your contact center and your support center and your tech center and service center. So that's a key requirement as well. And then making sure that you think about the future, because if you buy for today, you're going to end up buying again tomorrow. So make sure you partner with a company like the folks that are up here that are thinking towards the future, investing $250 million in R&D, and really aligning yourselves with somebody who can be there for you down the road. And then for us, and this might be unique to us, I don't quite think so, but we really focus on that trusted advisor status of our channel partner. So most of the folks that buy from us want somebody who's local. They can pick up the phone and say, hey man, can you come down today? I'm having some issues, or I hired 10 new salespeople. Can you train them on how to use the contact center tool? So for us, that local presence is something that we really encourage and extend out through our channel as a buying criteria. So those are the things that we try to encourage within our channel.
So I believe one size does not fit all in just about anything you do in life, and it applies especially in the UCaaS and CCaaS arenas. Because while these guys will say, hey, we're pure cloud, we're the only over-the-top cloud, which I think is a little bit of a stretch. We're the only vendor on the market who is offering choice. You know, it's a lot like ice cream. If I want to get ice cream, I can go to a fast food joint and I can get fast and quick ice cream. But it comes with limitations. I can only get vanilla, and I can only get a cone. And if I've got my wife and my picky 14-year-old daughter in the car, I'm not going to go to the fast food joint to get ice cream, because everybody wants something different. And the challenge with a one-size-fits-all approach is that it's positioned like, hey, going to the cloud is flipping a switch. And the reality is, for a lot of customers, when they're thinking about UCaaS, they're seeing it more as a journey, not a jump. And every customer has a different destination. Their roadmap is more important than my roadmap. So we at Avaya have created different solutions that give customers the ability to go to cloud in their way. Going back to the ice cream metaphor, we operate the Ben & Jerry's. We've got a variety of different flavors, so that way we can make exactly what the customer wants. We're not forcing them into my one vanilla ice cream option.
Awesome, thank you. Now I want ice cream. Go ahead.
Fair enough. So from a customer standpoint, it comes down to really mobility and apps. And so from a mobility and app standpoint, this is where the direction of everything is going. This is where all the business is being done on a single sheet of glass in your hand today. So you have to develop and be able to compete on that single sheet of glass. So all of your development, all of your applications, and having a vibrant app community, so you have open source, so you can meet a variety of requirements that are out there. We've spent a lot of time, and we have a 12,000 deep development community that has spent the time putting those apps together, and you can literally go in and select those apps, or you can develop your own. So from a customer standpoint, I think it's really important that you do have options, and you do have the chance to get out there and select what you need to fit, because I'll agree with you, one size does not fit all. And we've been very successful so far in taking that mobility app, boiling all of those multiple disparate things down to one UCaaS sheet of glass, and then having apps and developers out there to help fit those unique requirements. From a partner program standpoint, I think that's the other kind of leg requirement here. When you're going to market with the partners, they want to feel like they're invested with you. And we spend a lot of time talking with partners and talking with the partners' customers with them to understand what kind of changes we need to make in our applications, what kind of changes we need to make in our tech to put this thing together properly. But the partner program is really the hub of all of this, because those partners see what's going on in the environment today, and they have to trust you as a supplier that you're going to help them and sell with them and guide them properly and provide them the information they need to, again, train, enable, and support all the things that come with that sale at the end of the day. We only ask our customers really for one thing when you kind of boil it all down: bring us your qualified leads, bring them in, and we'll help you go sell them and take them down. So.
All right, so to me, applications, features, functionality, everybody has that, right? You can look at all the whiz-bang cool stuff that any one of us do, and you're going to be impressed, and we're going to impress customers from a collaboration perspective, from a mobility perspective, conferencing, contact center, all of that. We all can do all of that. The part that I think separates Mitel from a lot of the other folks, and what I would encourage you to look at, is the customer experience. And it's not just customer experience from what we portray to our customers, it's the customer experience that we continue on after they sign that contract. So once they sign that agreement with Mitel, every single implementation, whether you're 5 users or 50,000 users, is going to have a project manager dedicated to them, a dedicated client programmer, a dedicated AVIS that is first call support on the first days of go live, right? That's the stuff that's important. And moving on through that, the team that surrounds you at Mitel from a customer service and a support perspective with one single push of the button that I can get to a help desk at any point and any time, that's an incredible thing to be able to do. So I'd say make your choice on who is your provider based on what that customer experience is, not just at the time of the signing of the contract.
I would love to hear from the other three about the customer experience, since you brought that up. How is your customer experience better than the person next to you?
In sales, you got to listen. That's what it really comes down to. You have to listen.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Exactly. Thunderdome? So you do. You have to listen. And so we spent a lot of time listening. We've listened to feature changes that need to be made. We've listened to partner program changes that we need to make along the way. And if you don't have your ears out there and are actually listening and not talking at someone, you're going to miss a ton of things. Now, we spent some time at a master recently, and we had 2.5 hours to pitch a product. And we spent probably a good hour and a half of that just shutting up and listening to what they had to say about our product, our program, and our tech. And you've got to be able to effectively do that. So that's the way we differentiate ourselves. We listen, and then we make changes.
So I agree. Listening is crucial. And how you measure customer satisfaction is just as crucial, and it becomes a battleground that you can leverage. You can literally see a connected dot between how your customers see you and your business success. And at Avaya, we use a Net Promoter Stat. Basically, we ask a customer, based on a scale of 1 to 10, would you do business with us again? Based on a scale of 1 to 10, would you recommend us to a colleague based off of this past experience? And if you give us anything less than a 9, you might as well give me a 0. So one of the big benefits of using that Net Promoter Stat is you're not just looking for happy customers, you're looking for fans of your business. You're looking for people who want to go out and show people what they bought. They want to be able to brag about what they're using. And when we measure our Net Promoter Score, especially against our software platforms, it's best in class. It's in the 60s. So we have the ability to not just offer an agent community a product that's innovated, but it's also a customer base that's hungry for you guys to go out and talk to them about upgrading and migrating to the cloud without the business risk of a forklift. That is a very unique operation for us, and it just speaks again to that customer experience satisfaction.
Cool, thank you.
So customer experience. So for us, it's a little, again, different, unique. And I'm not big on like poking fingers at other vendors because that's not what it's about. So our partners vote with their wallet every day. We don't own our customers. We own our partners. Our partners own their customers. So whereas, a typical agent model, you come in, you hand that contract off, and it gets signed with RingCentral. Our partners, our 800 plus, own these customers. They have the right to terminate those customers any day of the week. So when we're growing our business month over month at a pretty rapid pace and at good margins and good EBITDA, our partner experience is high because they're satisfied with what they're being given and they're generating the revenues they want to generate with their customer community. So what we focus on really is enabling our partners to be successful and delivering high quality, high reliability, and high scalability in our network and in our feature set and keeping them competitive in the marketplace. And then they vote with their wallet when it comes to keeping seats on our platform or turning them over to guys like you. So that's how we drive it.
Okay, awesome. I think we have time for a few more Inquisitor questions.
I have a quick question. Any of you can answer it. So as customers continue to transition to the cloud, there have been more increasing concerns around security. How are you guys addressing those concerns in terms of data center support, security analysts? Like, what do you have as part of your team that helps address customer concerns as it relates to transitioning to the cloud?
So I'll take a quick one at this. I'm not the security expert here on the panel, so you guys could probably add more value than me. Ours is really operationally oriented from the standpoint of our infrastructure and operations team is broken down into 8 different organizations. One of those happens to be security, redundancy, reliability, all those different things. And they're regularly kind of evaluating what's going on and running tabletop exercises on different security protocols and violations. And we just try to stay ahead of things because the bad guys are always being smarter, and so we got to continue to be smarter. So that's about the extent of what I know, so I'm not going to stretch my limits here beyond that.
So that's a great question. And, I'm a comic book nerd. So Peter Parker's uncle said to him, with great power comes great responsibility. And security isn't just a UCaaS thing. This has been a long time unified communications challenge and even beyond that. And we saw that coming. And we've embraced that by first, with our on-prem systems, moving over to the SIP protocol. We bought a company called Sapira, who was one of the leading testers in the whole VoIP security space. So we have all that in-house. And one of the things that differentiates us compared to others is that we have a full end-to-end solution. From the cloud, from the software, from the security, all the way down to the endpoint that's on the desk. It can all have our vendor logo on it. And that allows us to really embed security from end to end. It's not handing it off to this vendor or trying to leverage this. We really own it end to end, and we have that VoIP testing security module down in Texas from the Sapira acquisition. So it's hugely important to us.
Do the others have end-to-end, just like Avaya, or no?
So to answer your question, and I'm not a security expert, so bear with me. We own all of our data centers, proprietary software that goes with that, and that's our system's backbone. I can tell you we actively are doing a lot of the same probing that you're doing. We bring in the companies, we bring in the external, and we do all the poke analysis. We do all the security analysis to ensure that we've got a lockdown tight system. So without getting into the nuts and bolts of it, because I don't have that, I'll be honest with you, we do actively have an entire department that's dedicated to nothing but securitization of our IP and our customers.
So the question you asked is, I think, one of the most important questions in UCaaS today that not enough people are talking about or asking. So good job. And it's truly because of the end-to-end solution. So when you pick a Mitel product, for the last 45 years, we've run that product for the enterprise. End-to-end, from the software that's in the racks, or the hardware that's in the racks, to the software that's on the desktop, and the endpoints that sit on the desktop. Every single packet that leaves a Mitel endpoint is SSL encrypted end-to-end. That goes way farther than secure authentication that we hear from everybody else. We're actually encrypting that traffic on every single call, everything that leaves that device. And we can do that because they're our own devices. We've written that into the code. So when we talk about security at the physical layer from a data center and all those perspectives, absolutely. Those data centers are the highest rated in the world. So we know the physical security is there. But what we're all worried about is somebody sniffing the packets at the end of that phone and being able to pick up that conversation. And because we encrypt that traffic from beginning to end, can't do that on a Mitel device. So it's pretty cool.
Ray, did you have another question?
Yeah, there's, and you brought it up, all of you have mentioned it at some point in your conversation today. There's an intersection happening right now between UCaaS and CCaaS, contact center and the UCaaS sometimes can be viewed as so many players and a race to zero, commoditized. But contact center, all of you are doing something different and unique there to be able to position yourself to be a leader in that space. Tell us what you're doing unique and different with the contact center that would bring you in a position where you can be more valuable to your customer. In my opinion, it's for every 10 UC seats, there's probably a contact center seat there. So what are you guys doing uniquely yourselves to be able to differentiate yourself in the contact center space?
Good question.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a great point, because I think they probably would all share the same point of view. A lot of the opportunities that we get brought into, they actually begin at the contact center level. So they're beginning with that customer experience in mind, and we see that more often and in almost every opportunity. When Mitel looks at it, we recognize that not every CCaaS user, every contact center user is going to fit in the same experience, right? Some need the most basic of call routing and reporting. Others need to step it up with customized reporting and skills-based routing, and even others need to go into that omni-channel path. So we support all of those, just depending on what product set or what is needed for that user, and obviously depending on the cost of acquisition for that. The piece that we're doing that I think separates us and where we see the future is in really two platforms, and that's in AI and IoT. So these aren't things that we're just talking about or are vaporware. We're actually deploying them in UCaaS and cloud instances today. We have a very tight integration with Google. We were just main stage with Google at their next conference, talking about kind of that AI as a service, right? Per seat, being able to predict that kind of intelligence inside of the business, as well as being able to now bundle IoT devices based on three things: movement, temperature, or moisture, and have those direct an interaction into a contact center platform. So pretty cool stuff.
Awesome. Thanks.
So Ray, you're dead on. You can't really speak about UCaaS and contact center separately. You really can't today. RingCentral has taken great pains to find what we consider the best of breed contact center solution in there with InContact. And so we've been working with InContact now for several years, and InContact on RingCentral is amazing. We've spent a lot of time, money, and effort developing a better solution with those two separate pieces together. And that has really gone to the spot where you get down to the analytics. You do get down to the AI side of things, where we're to the point now where you have bots running in the background, and you can really optimize the analytics and reporting to the point where they're doing predictive analysis on saying, hey, look, you've been dormant on times, or you're not taking as many calls as you should. Why? Alert, alert. So we're going through that entire process right now of development, and it's been amazing. So when you look at contact center as our go-to-market, it is an integrated solution with our UCaaS piece right now. And really, RingCentral and InContact together with the development has made for a very strong offering all the way from the very low end of the stack, because one size does not fit all, once again, from the very low end of the stack to the very high end of the stack in the way we play today. So it's really been a blended solution where we've kind of melted the two technologies together.
So this one's near and dear to my heart, so feel free to get the hook if I keep going on and on here.
I got it.
Like I said, we are in the business of connecting people who need help with the people and resources that can give them that help. And that is our heritage. It's in our DNA. We are the contact center leader in the market. But that doesn't mean that contact center is perfect. It's far from it. Contact center is a painful process. I mean, who has ever dialed a toll-free number somewhere and said, that was a great experience, I'd love to do that again, right? So that's why we are investing in things like AI, IoT. Like Peter Parker's uncle told him, with great power comes great responsibility. You're missing an ingredient. It's blockchain. You've got to secure those things as well as deploy them. Because ultimately what customers are looking for and what the opportunity for agents to service is the idea of, when I call in for help, I don't want to talk to a robot. I don't want to deal with the automated systems because I'm yelling zero, operator, whatever's going to get me out of this pit of despair as fast as humanly possible. So those tools have got to be focused on one key objective for the customer. I just want you to answer the phone when I call. So things like AI can be used to make agents more efficient, streamline their time spent typing up novels about what this customer interaction was, using real-time speech-to-text analytics, so this way we can start to monitor every single call happening in the contact center. And all of that, we see cloud as the cheat code, not necessarily as a product in this space. We have things there, but it's the cheat code for businesses to be able to jump and leapfrog from where they are to where they want to go tomorrow. And that's really the big challenge, because when you start to think about smaller businesses, the community credit union that's competing with Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, technology used to be an unfair tool that the bigger businesses used, because if you wanted to deploy that type of stuff, that meant standing up more servers than you had employees, and it made no sense. So the cloud is a cheat code for those types of businesses to be able to leapfrog ahead. And that is really where we see a ton of opportunity in the agent model, is to be able to offer those smaller businesses the ability to leapfrog.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. So, so we recently launched a contact center solution April of this year. We spent a lot of time doing due diligence with our partners in the marketplace, and what we're going after with contact center is that SME, that 500 to 1,000 seat environment, where it's not about calling Ireland to get Dell support or calling India to get support on your credit card. It's really departmental. It's work group, it's sales departments, it's customer service. It's your 100-person company down the road that has 20 folks dealing with contact center that can't afford to bring in a heavy lift, a big piece of hardware, tens of thousands of dollars of services work, 6 to 12 months of deployment. They want to get it in and they want to get productive fast. So for us, it's all about getting into those kind of shops and layering on contact center either on top of our dial tone or on top of PBX dial tone, infrastructure dial tone, whatever it might be, and offering that value around contact center. So we've really focused on things like time to market. Our partners get lit up in 24 hours on contact center. Configuration takes 20 to 25 days if they have complex IVR, for example. We're really focused on, WYSIWYG type stuff so that our partners can configure this thing, get it lit up, put together a workflow, and then tune it and adjust it over time. Customers themselves are empowered to get in there and light up work queues or skill-based routing or whatever it might be, along with enhanced reporting. So we're really trying to tackle the practical day-to-day stuff where contact center makes a difference as compared to the 10,000 seat call center of 2,000. And the adoption's been incredible within our partner community. Quickly ramped a pipeline, thousands of seats, closing thousands of seats, year to date. And the demand is absolutely there. So, we've heard the other guys like Evolve IP. I don't know if people have heard them. They're like 40% of our sales are being driven off a contact center. Like, I'd raise my hand and vote, yeah, there's a lot of contact center business out there. And it's bringing the right solution, lightweight, nimble, agile, to the environment, that makes sense and not being this heavy lift kind of thing. So that's what we're focused on.
All right, awesome. All right, let's move on to our head-to-head round, okay? So we'll pick 2 or maybe 3 of you to answer a question to debate it, okay? So I'll start, and then you guys can jump in wherever you want to. So let's go with RingCentral and Avaya. I'm holding up a number behind my back. What is it? Avaya?
5.
It's 2, so you go first, okay? So you got the rebuttal. So I want to know, in your company, what is your crown jewel product, and why is it better than their crown jewel product?
The RingCentral Office product, without a doubt.
Okay, what is that? What is that?
That is our singular UCaaS solution that provides voice, that provides unified communication and chat, that provides fax, that provides video. It is the all-encompassing, true unified communication solution. So it's RingCentral Office. How is it better? We are over the top. We are bring your own bandwidth, but we are 100% hosted. We have an amazing total cost of ownership. The pitch really at the end of the day when you're getting in there is we can do this better, faster, and cleaner when we go to market with our partners and our customers. You couple that product with a award-winning program, a channel program, I think that really does trump what's going out there today with my gentleman to the left.
All right, let's hear it. He says he's better, faster, stronger, true UCaaS. Those are a lot of words dropped there. So what's your rebuttal there?
So that's just a lot of like for like, because we have a single UCaaS solution that offers single pane of glass, messaging, calling. We're all the same. I mean, we all have similar products like that. But really where we stand out is the software that we build our cloud solution on. It's the same software that our customers have been using on-premise, and they love it. The Net Promoter Score is through the roof with IP Office. So why it's different than what anybody else, forget just one vendor, but basically any other vendor on the market, is the fact that we can offer a customer that's on-premise with IP Office a path to the cloud based off of whatever their destination is, will be that GPS as they go. And we are the only vendor that can do that with no business risk, because they're not doing a forklift shift going from what they have and they love to some other vendor. I don't care who it is. So it's not just you, it could be anybody. That's a huge advantage for us as a company, and it's also a huge advantage for our agent community, because you have the ability to talk to customers. You're going fishing with a lure that's going to make them bite, whereas you're trying to get them to go after something that they may not be necessarily interested in. They see some of the benefits of a cloud solution, the OpEx model, lower total cost of ownership, elasticity, but that business risk is really, really holding the market back. It's only, I think market says 10% of on-prem systems have moved to cloud. That 90% is holding back for a reason, and we give partners and agents the ability to basically have the right lure to go fishing with to get the biggest fish with.
What about you, Jeff? Do you have the right lure?
Yes, we do. Due respect, at the end of the day, there is a migration, and you really do have to speak to the fact is we call it the bubble up effect. So we are getting all this information from our customers that they do want to leave the wiring closet. They want to cut it. They want to move on. And they're tired of the high costs, they're tired of the maintenance and everything goes with that. They want to move to a clean model, and they are willing, in many cases, to do that lift and shift because it is so painful right now. Getting to that next area in the cloud is that's much more important to them for a long-term solution. So it's really an old versus new thing. You've got a great product, but it's an old versus new thing here. And I think that there will continue to be on-prem solutions, but I think over time, it is going to all swing to the cloud, ultimately.
You got a rebuttal?
Yeah, and so let me just get one thing really clear. I agree with that. I think the shift is towards the cloud. Being first does not make you best. And you guys were first to market here, and yes, you offered customers that were on-premise something. Apple was not the first company to make a smartphone, and BlackBerry isn't around anymore. We have the ability to basically shift those customers over on the platform they like with the benefits you just described. Lower total cost of ownership, elasticity, faster innovation cycles, because now with an over-the-top cloud solution that's powered by IP Office, you can move and you don't have the business risk with the shift. What's not to like?
All right. Is it getting hot in here? All right. So this is for the gentleman on the outside now. If you guys have any questions, a head-to-head question that you want to pose to anybody?
Let's do it. So I will go with Mitel and RingCentral. Are you listening, RingCentral team? So who has the better channel support team, and give me 2 reasons why.
Channel support and 2 reasons why the best.
So 2 reasons why channel support. So obviously, I'm not going to say Mitel's got the better channel support team. We get to the obvious here. Without a doubt, we do. So we provide from day one, we provide a process, a very, very hard and fast process for escalations if you do have a problem. We provide not only partner support, we also provide customer support. So if a partner decides that they want to take first call, they can make that call on behalf of their customer. So we allow the flexibility for that. By that same token, a customer can also call into a dedicated team. These are 2 separate teams that are attuned to managing with a partner and support, and the support model that's required for a partner, as well as a customer support model. They're 2 different desires and requirements at the end of the day. So when you talk about support model, how we distinguish ourselves, we go to market with a 2-pronged approach from the support standpoint. In addition to that, we have an amazing partner network out there today that also is stepping into that breach and taking that first call in many cases, because we've been able to train them on the RingCentral product and how to look for very specific triggers to make an easy fix. So a lot of our partners today are the admins for their customers. It's a very common thing, but they're getting in there and we've trained them to make that call. We also have professional services delivery too, as well.
Perfect. So 2 points of why I believe Mitel's channel is I'm not going to say Ring. One is when you deal with Mitel, you have to know our internal process. And our internal process is that we can never, ever sell anything direct. Everything has to be attached to a partner all the way through the process, right? So when you engage with a Mitel professional inside of your territory, whether it's channel or selling or whatever it is, every single one of those users is in your corner to get that thing closed and close it with you, right? So that would be item number 1. From a second perspective, I think it's important to note that and this is on us, I hear it all the time that when we're at these events that I didn't know that Mitel did that, right? That was on us from a messaging message for the last couple of years. But we have invested so heavily into this agent channel. You'll probably see more Mitel people at this event than you ever have before. And you'll continue to see that in market in each one of your territories, because we have more than tripled the number of agent resources that we have in every single market. So that's a really big one for us to be able to focus and refocus and energize on that channel, as well as the fact that, we're going to be with you all the way through.
Any rebuttal? No. All right, I got a question. This is for CoreDial and Avaya. So let's say that there may be an agent out there that isn't used to selling this type of product. They want to break into it. What does your onboarding process look like? And what is your quote-unquote gateway drug to get them involved with the customer?
Okay. So I would say our onboarding process is we are investing, just as these guys are, heavily in the master agent community channel. We're with Telarus. We're with all the other, leading master agents there. So that's an easy onboard. You guys are basically already authorized to sell our product through that arrangement. Our gateway drug, I would say, is leads. We have the biggest feature of our product set is our customer base. We've got a very large, loyal customer base and 90 some odd percent of that is on premise. And right now, it's that unique moment in time when everything's in alignment. It's the right product set. Customers love the software. It's the right moment in time. We just released IP Office 11 that's chock full with a bunch of new functionality that people want to upgrade to get to. And it's the right time as an agent monetarily because we're giving you a 6x spiff. So it's more money in your pocket, it's the right product, and it's a customer base that's hungry to buy. That to me is a no-brainer if you're trying to grow a business.
How do you compete with a 6x spiff?
So, going back to the basis of the conversation earlier, our partners don't sign with us for one-time hits of cash, right? They're signing with us to build a business. They're looking to create a brand. They're looking to create a legacy, whether it's for their kids or their family members, or an asset that you can sell. It's, sure, agent companies have been bought and sold recently, but if you're running a $3 million agency, nobody's really going to buy you for a multiple of very much. So ours is recurring, papers with the partner. So they're signing with us to build a business. As far as our onboarding process, the reason they sign with us on 2 levels. So we have 2 contract levels. Both of them have revenue commits. It just depends on how aggressive they want to be. And they get better buying power with us on the wholesale side, depending upon which level of agreement they sign. And then we put them through a process, and we've tuned it. I've been with the organization now for 3 years. We've tuned our process 3 times in 3 years to really adjust with the changing times of what agents and partners need out there. So we put them through a parallel track of business education and technical training, and then we have online universities and all that kind of stuff. But we have a team of onboarding professionals. So you get assigned an account manager day 1, you get assigned an implementation specialist day 1, and they see you through your first 3 orders and see you through the training required to learn how to sell the service. And then we mature you into what we call ML2s, maturity level 2, and then you get assigned a level 2 account manager, and they're really working with you on scaling your sales and marketing. So we work with you on things like getting your HubSpot instance set up so you can ramp your leads, getting your pipeline set up and your promotional program set up so you can drive real leads, real pipeline, and a sustainable business model. And then when you graduate into our level 3 programs, you get assigned a relationship manager because you're big enough that you matter to us, we matter to you. We want to make sure that day-to-day tactical stuff is taken care of, but the relationship that matters most is in a good state between our 2 parties.
What would you say your gateway drug is?
Our gateway drug is really the business model. I mean, I keep harping on that, but it's all about the folks that we're signing are typically, many of them are MSPs, so they've not done this at all, and they're like, I got to get into telco, I want to do it, and I'm running an MSP business, and I don't want to be an agent because I don't want to get anybody else in my hen house. I don't want anybody else in my customers where I'm providing endpoint management, security offerings, whatever it might be, managed print services. And so they want to get into the telco space, and we're a good option for them because they're not just turning the business over. And then it's agents who have said, hey, I want to build something more than just a commission model. And they want to build a business, and they sign with us and kind of mature into that level. So our gateway drug are our profits. I mean, these guys are driving 50% on the low end, 70% on the high end, which is pretty substantial compared to some of the payouts and spiffs that these guys get on agent deals.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. You guys have any head-to-head questions?
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Some of you are providers in the space that have proprietary platform. As you grow it, you've added to it. Others of you are doing integrations with third-party platforms. Tell me why it's better to do the integration through third-party platforms, best of breed, or to have your own internal proprietary platform you've built from the ground up.
It's nothing like a religious debate to end this whole thing, huh? So
we have only 5 minutes left, so let's limit it to 15 seconds.
I'll keep it brief. I came out of the enterprise software space, so I have very biased opinions on that. Not so much the telecom networking kind of space. CoreDial has just decided that we want to own our intellectual property. And we go through the evaluation every time, and we say, should we buy, build, or partner? And in all cases, we've decided to build or buy, not partner necessarily. Doesn't mean it's the right answer, but for us, we want to control our destiny. We want to have fast turnaround times on the input we get from our partner community and our customer community. And we're trying to build a company of value around software. And so if we own the assets, that's the best way to do that. And so, we went out and bought our contact center. We built our UC platform, that kind of thing. But it doesn't mean that any of these are wrong or right, but that's been our strategy because we want to build a company of value based on our intellectual property.
Okay.
So quickly, I think the biggest value is by owning the end-to-end software, security, endpoint division, there's no finger pointing. Everything comes back to us. We have to make everything work. It's not a shake your hand and this guy is going to point the finger at this guy because something's not working. But at the same token, we can also create an open platform that allows you to basically say, you know what, I like to use this product better. So if a customer is using something like Zoom, video conferencing, our endpoints will work just great with it because we're embracing Android. So we allow the customer to have choice. We also allow the customer to basically buy a full end-to-end solution for us because the business value isn't in making this product work with that product. The business value for a customer and the business value for an agent selling it is, my product is going to help you solve these two challenges. Grow your revenues, shrink your expenses. How you do it doesn't matter.
We own our own platform. It's proprietary without a doubt. I think the rub in it is where you get down to what kind of applications that you have out there, what can be developed in an open platform. I think that's absolutely mission critical. So the more developers you have, the more apps you have, the more approachable you are to a variety of customers. And if those customers want to integrate and build into their system, they can take our platform and do that by the bridge of an app. We have several million calls a month, API calls a month, for developers that have built something amazing specifically for a single customer. Well, I'm guaranteed chances are pretty good that there's another customer out there with that same need or something like that. So really, from a proprietary standpoint, building those apps and having a very vibrant developer community is absolutely mission critical.
So I agree. I've already stated it's our platform for the last 45 years, but I think the point is to the application integration, right? Mitel takes integrations with Salesforce, with Skype for Business, with you name it, and we actually build those integrations and those applications ourselves. What that means is when that does happen, one, it's included in your platform, it's included in your license cost. So you just pick whichever add-on application you want to add on, and we're providing that. But the part of that that's most important is that we also help you with the service and support of that application, right? So you're not having to go to a third-party vendor to be able to say, oh, I need my Salesforce integration to work or whatever it is. You call to Mitel and we'll fix it and support it from there.
Okay, awesome. I want to turn to the audience. Is there any questions that you want to ask these guys while we have them captive?
Steve Giliberto, Samita from Seattle. One of what my company in prospecting for business, particularly in the West Coast, are those with international locations, corporate assets, etc. And the evolution of hosted voice services in the international market has been somewhat of a slow but steady crawl. And most of yourselves and others of your peers have some foot in that arena. What I'm seeing is that the feet are all wearing different shoes on how they can say, yes, we are able to do this or that internationally. What I'm learning from customers as we talk to them and review various solutions is, back to the comment made earlier, there's certainly no one size fits all. But customers are confused where they're right at that threshold. 80% of our business is here in the U.S., but I can't leave 20% of it in some other hand. How are you guys dealing with that, very briefly, from a strategy standpoint?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So from an international presence, we can support you. I will tell you that we'd all have the same problem, is that there are countries that we have the challenge, right? If that 20% is in the countries that we would hope it would be in, it's not going to be a problem. We can go end-to-end, 4-digit dial across the pond without any issues. The problem becomes is when we have regulations from governing bodies that kind of steamroll us from the very beginning, right? And what do we do in those environments? So, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I mean, it's a very similar application that we have. It's not that the technology's not there. Sometimes it's that the governing bodies are not necessarily right there with us. But to know that you're supported at a local data center level when you bring your platform international is always comforting to have.
Very briefly.
I'd have to echo Ken on that. There are places that they're just not going to let you in, and that's a regulation thing. RingCentral's got a great global footprint. However, there are places you're going to get stonewalled. So absolutely, yes, get it. If you're 80% in North America, getting across the pond or some specific areas, it's going to be on a case-by-case basis, to be perfectly frank.
I won't pretend to have a magic wand. It's basically the same type of thing. I mean, we're all going to be facing one vendor is going to face the same regulations as another vendor. We have the ability to create hybrid solutions, so this way that 20% can still be somewhat a part of that overall environment. But from a 100% pure cloud internationally, none of us have a magic wand on that.
Ditto.
All right. Unfortunately, we're out of time. If there was a question that you didn't get to ask these gentlemen, please feel free to tackle them as they're walking through the exhibit hall.
By the way, that was my one-word answer to your question. You said you were going to offer.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to that. Okay, cool. Want to thank our inquisitors as well. Thank you, victims. Hope you had a great time. Hope you learned something.
Thunderdome.
Thunderdome, yeah.